So we're back with lesson 4, which talks about the opposite of a number. So we're going to start by with our opening exercise, which is not on your paper, but I wanted to see if you can figure out what is the relationship between the things that I'm going to tell you about. So I'm starting off with fast and slow, light, dark, dirty, clean, alike, different, open, close, fiction, nonfiction, correct, incorrect. Okay? So what is the relationship between those things that I said?
They are the opposites.
They are opposites. So that brings us into what we're learning about today. So today we're talking about opposites of a number, okay? So if I ask you, what is the opposite of a positive number? You tell me a what?
Negative number.
A negative number, okay? So those are simply opposites. So we'll have an activity in class where I'm going to let you walk it out on the number line, okay? So look for that around the room. I may give you the opportunity to show your skills on the number line. It was a dance back in Miss Chipman's day called Walk It Out, okay? So you were able to walk it out like this. I ain't going to show it to y'all today. I'm going to show you all my dance moves, but I'm going to teach you that when we walk the number line in class, okay? So that's going to take you maybe about 3 minutes of your time to actually walk the number line out, where I distribute you an index card that's labeled with an integer ranging from -10 to a +10, and then you are simply going to find your card's opposite on the number line. So let's move right into our example 1, which says that we are going to locate the number 8 and its opposite on the number line. And then we're not going to stop there. It says we have to explain how they are related to 0. So anytime you're graphing a point on a number line, you have to start at our starting point, which is at where? 0. So before I can locate an 8 on my number line, I need to start at 0. So we're going to use what's called the curved arrow method, and we're going to go count over each unit until we make it to 8. Positive 8. So let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Alright, so once I have made it here, I'm going to put a dot. Okay, so it took me 8 units, or like 8 spaces. It took us 8 units to make it to a positive 8. Now let's see how many units it takes us to make it to a negative 8, because that is the opposite of what? A positive 8, right? So, where will I start? I'm going to start at 0. Remember, we always start at 0, okay? And which direction will we go? To the left or to the right?
The left.
The left, because this is where my negative numbers are located. So let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Alright, so at this point, I'm going to put a dot. So what can we say about this relationship to 0? How are they related to 0? They are what?
They are
What was the same about them?
they all had 8 units.
From what?
From
0.
From 0. They were all 8 units away from 0. Although we went to the left to get to this negative number, it still took us only what? 8 units to make it to it. And then to get to our positive 8, we went into the right, but it still took us 8 units to make it to our positive number. So it's safe to say that opposites are the same distance away from what?
The 0.
Away from 0, okay? So that moves us into our exercise number 2. Exercise 2 on your paper says locate and label the opposites of the number on the number line. So in A, we start with the number what?
9.
We start with the number 9. So I need to put the opposite of 9 on the number line. So which point should we start? At what point should we start? At the what?
0.
At the 0. So I'm going to put my mark on the 0. And which direction will I go? To the left or to the right? I need the opposite of a 9.
To the left.
To the left, because I know that the opposite of positive 9 is what?
-9.
Negative 9. So let's count over. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And I'm going to put a what here?
A dot.
Put a dot on negative 9 because this shows me the opposite of
Positive 9.
positive 9, which is a negative 9. So I should have a dot on negative 9. What about on B? B says negative what?
2.
Negative 2. So I need to put a dot on the opposite of negative 2, which is a what?
Positive 2.
Positive 2. So I'm starting at 0. Count over to a positive 2. 1, 2, and put a what?
Dot.
A dot. Okay? I think you can handle C and D by yourself. Remember that you're doing the opposite of a positive 4, so the opposite of positive is a what?
Negative.
Negative. So I should have a dot at what point?
At the negative 4.
At the negative 4 because it's the opposite of a positive what?
4.
So I'm going to have a dot on my negative 4. And then I should end with a dot on what number? I have a negative 7, so the opposite of a negative 7 is a
Positive 7.
positive 7. So I'm going to have a dot also on a
Positive 7.
positive 7. Okay, so this is what your number line should look like for exercise 2. When you make it to exercise 3 on your paper, it says write the integer that represents the opposite of each situation. Explain what 0 means in each situation. So just like Caitlin was able to tell us that negative 8 was 8 units away from 0, that's what you're going to do when you explain what 0 means in each situation. So on A on part 3, on number 3 on your paper, check number 3 for me. A says 100 feet above sea level. So if I'm going to do the opposite of 100 feet above sea level, 100 feet above is something positive, right? So the opposite of a positive 100 would look like what?
A negative 100.
Negative 100. So all you have to simply write there is negative 100. And that simply means that 0 represents sea level, right? So I'm going to negative 100 because that is the opposite of my positive 100. You do the same thing for B and C. You're going to represent the integer, write the integer that represents the opposite of the situation that's given on B and C under number 3. Okay? So I think you can handle the rest of that. If you have any issues with this, I want you to locate your small group teacher and they will assist you with the rest. Thank you for your time.